Welcome to Waterfall Crochet. In this video I'm going to demonstrate working the waterfall crochet stitch over double crochet rows. So each row here is worked in double crochets. And if you watched working the waterfall crochet stitch over single crochet rows, I want to point out something. The stitches are named the same. We have waterfall 2 over 2 rows and into stitch. So W2ST, W3ST, W4ST, and W5ST. So they're going to be named the same. So you need to pay attention to what type of rows you're working over. So in this sample, we're working over double crochet rows. As you know, double crochet is made by yarning over, inserting hook into the stitch, yarning over, pulling through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops and hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops and hook. And so that's how you make a double crochet, and we want to achieve that same row height while we work our double crochet rows. Move this over here. So here we are working waterfall over 2 rows and into stitch. So we've got 3 stitches and 3 chains, and we're going to work 3 double crochet over 2 rows into stitch. So we yarn over, and so that gives us 2 loops for that first row. Now we're inserting into the stitch, yarning over twice, and bringing through. So for double crochet rows, you want to make sure you have 2 loops on the hook per row, and then you want to make sure you get into this correct stitch here. Turn to the back, yarn over, pull through stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on hook and that chain, through 2 loops on hook, and through 2 loops on hook. And then you have the waterfall over 2 rows and into stitch. So again, yarn over, insert hook into the stitch, and yarn over twice for double crochet rows. Into the stitch, turn over, yarn over, pull through stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops and chain, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and there's your second waterfall over 2 rows and into stitch worked over double crochet rows. So we'll work that third one here. So we've got 2 loops per row, insert in the stitch, turn to the back, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and the chain, pull through 2, and 2 again. So there are 3 waterfall stitches over 2 rows and into stitch. So we're going to work these 2 double crochet here's to get over to our next set of chain spaces. Now we're going to work waterfall over 3 rows and into stitch. And again, we have 3, 3, and 3. So we yarn over, insert hook in the space, yarn over twice, insert hook in the space, yarn over twice, and we make sure that we've got our number of loops per row that we need. Now this yarn separates a little bit into its plies, so you got to make sure you've got your correct number of yarn overs. So insert into the stitch, turn over, yarn over, pull through stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 and that chain, pull through 2, pull through 2 and the chain, yarn over, pull through 2, and there we've completed our double crochet over 3 waterfall crochet over 3 rows and into stitch. So yarn over, insert hook into space, yarn over twice, insert hook in space and yarn over twice. Check that you've got all your yarn overs per the rows. Insert into the stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. And so with the yarn that kind of frays, you want to make sure that you're getting both your loops and your chain space when it's time. Because sometimes it can fray to where you're thinking you're pulling them both off, but you're actually only getting half the stitch off. So it's part of just double checking as you go. And if you ever need to pull a stitch out, what I recommend doing is putting your hook into that stitch before to help stop it from pulling out too far. So yarn over, insert hook into the space, insert hook in the space, yarn over, pull through. And so now we've got our 2 per row, insert hook into the stitch, pull through 2, through 2 and the chain, through 2 and the chain, and then through 2 of the last 2 here. Okay, so there we have 3 waterfall over 2 rows into stitch, and we have 3 waterfall over 3 rows and into stitch. So we're going to double crochet over to our next space. And here we will work over 4 rows and into stitch. So yarn over, insert hook in space, yarn over twice, pull through front, insert hook into space, yarn over twice and pull to the front, then insert hook in the space, yarn over twice and pull to the front. And so you've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 for each of the 4 rows being worked. Then you make sure that you're going into that stitch, turn over, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 and the chain, 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 and then through 2 and 2. Now sometimes as you're working the stitch, it'll kind of wander. You just straighten it out as you go, as you need. So yarn over, through 2, bring 2, bring 2 up through each space. And then you double check that you've got your 2 per space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Oh, here we got something caught a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it right here, just pull that out. I'm going to bring that back to the front, and I'm going to see where am I at. So I had to pull off one of my yarn overs. So I'm going to put it back through here. I'm going to get that second yarn over on it, and then bring it back to the front and see that we've got our 2s. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. So yeah, don't worry about making mistakes or pulling something through. You just hold, like I did. What I did is I held that loop and I took off what was catching, and then I redid from there. Or like if you need to redo the whole stitch, you want to just hold it there and bring your hook back and pull out, and it's okay to pull out and redo. So that's not a big deal at all. It just adds your own touch to the piece. So we yarn over, pull through our 2, and when needed, we pull through the chain space as well. And then see. So just as long as we get our row height, then we're doing good. And we want to have the tension look equal. You want to, and you'll get, as you work the piece, you get used to what tension you need to do on the yarn to be able to get the even look. Because sometimes you need to hold a little tighter, depending on what type of yarn you're using. You might need to hold it a little tighter because it might stretch more and make these loops around here look extra loose. You might just need to do a little more tension. Where this one here is about normal tension, what I'm doing for, just regular type stitching. So it all depends on the yarn you're using, of what kind of tension you need, and you'll figure that out as you work it and get familiar with the yarn you're doing and the stitch you're doing. So back to, so we've got our 2 loops on the hook per row. We're inserting into this stitch here and work this off. So through 2, 2 and the chain, through 2, 2 and the chain, and we just keep going till the stitch is worked off. And you see I keep grabbing close to where I'm pulling through, and that just helps keep everything with a nice equal tension. So, and just adjust your stitches if you need to. So now we've got waterfall over 2 and into stitch, waterfall over 3 and into stitch, and waterfall over 4 and into stitch. So do a couple double crochets here and get over to where we will work on waterfall 5 and into stitch. Now, bring out some yarn. So here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and into stitch. So yarn over twice and pull to front, insert into the space, yarn over twice and pull to front, into the space, yarn over twice and pull through to the front. And when you're working waterfall crochet, all your color that you're not working on, their ends are going to be at the end of the rows. And sometimes you'll have strings on this side or this side, and depending how many colors you're using, you might have strings on both sides. And you just got to make sure you're not catching those into what you're doing at this point. So I've got to insert in that last chain space, yarn over twice and pull through. And so I've got the 2 for all 5 rows. So I'm going to insert into that first stitch, pull, yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through 2 loops in the chain, 2 loops and the chain, 2 loops and the chain. Oh, did that miss a piece? Oh, it looks like we might have got a little part, so I'm trying to catch the rest of that. Did it come up, or is that just a little fray? Oh, something happened there. So I'm gonna hold on here and pull that out. I'm gonna see where it's just the yarn might have got snagged. Okay, so we're gonna come back and see where we're at. All right, so we got that row, so we insert here, redo that, 2, yarn over twice, pull up, yarn over twice and pull up. Okay, make sure we got our stitches again into that first, and we'll try that again. So pull through the stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, 2 in that chain, 2, 2 in the chain. And so your yarn should pull freely. So what happened there is I noticed the yarn wasn't pulling nicely through. So I knew something wasn't quite right. So that's why I pulled that out and redid it. And here we just move that over and get it into its proper place. So yarn over, pull through 2, and from each chain space. So again, we're double checking. We've got the correct number of loops for the correct number of rows, that we're getting into the correct stitch. And yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through 2, through 2 in the chain, through 2, 2 in the chain, all the way up till we've worked the stitch off. And you see I'm holding it close to where I'm pulling through, and that helps with keeping everything from stretching out. yarn over, and we'll get this last stitch here. And always pay attention to what the pattern says, because sometimes it's going to be a different color that gets worked in that next row, and so the instructions will be different. So 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, so that's 5 rows, and into that last stitch. I'll yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 in the chain, through 2 in the chain, until we work this stitch off. And then here, that is working the waterfall crochet stitches over double crochet rows. So waterfall over 2, over 3, over 4, and over 5, all into the stitch.